make this super easy quilted tote bag. But first, always remember to share this so it will save to your profile and you can find it when you're looking for it again later. I started with a bought quilt. Now this is the kind of quilt that I tell y'all not to buy, but I bought it and the stitching's beautiful, or lack of stitching is beautiful. And they call it embossed. Can you see that? It doesn't really have any stitches. It's just like, I don't know, I guess heat or something maybe. But it's really pretty. And so I'm using mine, but if you care about the stitches, don't get an embossed quilt. I started with that and I folded it in half. Actually, this was the pillow sham, I think. And I cut it 19 inches by 15 inches. So if it was open, it would be 19 inches by 30 inches long, okay? And then I came in 3 inches on each side and I cut all the way down to the corner to give it this angle. I wanted the angle, but you can make this bag square. You do not have to do what I'm doing. Then I cut out the bottom. I went in 1.5 inches and came down 1 inch and cut that square out. So when you open it up, it looks like this. Do you see this? This is cut out here and cut out here. Now I've opened mine up and I'm gonna find the front of my bag, and either side can be the front. I'm just deeming this as the front, and I'm using the same bow template that I put on mine and Nana Ann's sweatshirt. And I'm putting the bow on here because I want to make this so super cute, and I'm fascinated with all things pink, we know, and florals. So I'm putting the bow on here just like this. Now, I'm not going to zigzag mine down. I'm not adding any bias tape. All of mine is going to be raw edges because I want the raw edge of the bow, and then these straps that I'm going to use are just strips cut out of the quilt that I'm going to put on here with the raw edges, and it's so cute, y'all. I mean, in my mind it is. We'll see in just a minute how it looks. So after we have our bow on here, I'm gonna pin it down, and then I'm just gonna go straight stitch around the entire bow. So I folded my piece of fabric in half and came in 3 inches at the top and cut from the bottom corner up to the top on both sides. I did it when it was folded in half so it would be symmetrical. But you don't have to make yours angled. You can do this completely square, and that would be gorgeous too. And the measurements for the cutouts at the bottom are when the bag is folded in half. So fold it in half and then measure 1.5 inches by 1 inch and cut it out, and you'll cut both pieces at the same time. Y'all, I'm so dang excited to see the ones you make. And this was the moment that I realized I didn't put enough pins in my pieces. It wasn't intended to be crooked. Yes, I'm fixing it. Otherwise, I'm gonna have to make one side of the strap shorter so it doesn't look crooked when I'm walking around with it. Thank you, Missouri Star Quilt Company, for sending me this snazzy seam ripper. Sally is her name, and she and I are good friends. And when you sent me the seam ripper, she even came with a replacement blade. It's almost like y'all have watched me sew. Okay, I've sewn my bow on, crooked, took it off, fixed it. Now we're gonna do our straps. So I cut my straps, I think they are, oh, don't let me lie, 2 inches. I was gonna say 2 inches, but then I wasn't sure. They're 2 inches wide and 28 inches long. So I'm gonna do my straps this way, but you can do them any way you want. I'm putting mine on my bag just like this, but remember this is a pillow sham, so the binding is a little bit wider. It's got a pretty wide hem around it. So if you don't have this, then just come down about 1.5 inches or so. And I'm just gonna go and sew a square here and a square here. Then I'm gonna turn this over and I'm gonna sew the other strap to the other side the same way. Straight stitch, 1/4 inch seam, just in a square. This floral quilt that I used for the straps and the bow came from Hobby Lobby. And the pink quilt, I did not link in my Amazon storefront because I promised y'all the only ones linked in the storefront would have stitches. But this one did come from Amazon. Okay, I forgot to tell you, I'd already done it to this strap. But before we sew our strap on, I want you to go and stitch down both sides. I stitched down mine. You can't really see it, but it just gives it a little bit of oomph. It has a little definition in it, and it's so cute. So I'm gonna stitch down both sides, straight stitch, 1/4 inch seam, back stitching when I start and when I stop, and then I'm gonna put this strap on the back. And there are 2 bow templates at hometownquiltcompany.com. One is a bow made of hearts with heart cutouts, and the other one is this one. It's the same template that I used for the shirts that Nana Ann and I wore to Houston. Now, I've sewn my straps on. Now remember, I'm leaving all of my bag raggy. I'm leaving it all raw edges, so I'm going to sew with the raw edges on the outside of my bag. If you don't want to do that, you can sew with your raw edges on the inside, or you can sew them like I'm sewing them and then add some bias tape, however you want to do it. I'm going to start here, and I'm going to sew all the way down to here. I'm not going to sew any of this square. I'm going to sew right here, and then I'm going to sew right here. Straight stitch, 1/4 inch seam, back stitching when you start and when you stop, because my grandma said so. This would be absolutely precious with any applique on the front of it. It doesn't have to be the bow. And you can use a scrap piece of quilt for your applique, or you can make one. Now I've sewn down both sides. I'm going to come here to the bottom, and I'm going to pick this up. Do you see that? I'm going to open these 2 corners up and make the bottom meet the side, just like that. And all I'm doing is boxing my corners. I'm going to do that to this side and then to the other side. If boxing your corners is intimidating to you, don't do it. Just skip this step. Your bag is still super cute. Repeat after me. Sewing is fun, not stressful. Look how cute our quilted tote bag is, and super easy, very beginner friendly. If you've never sewn anything, you can sew this. Oh my goodness, it's so cute. My name is Tammy. I'm your favorite sewing teacher, and I would love for you to come sew with me.